DPR Motorsport were at the Silverstone National circuit over the weekend for the first of the 7 rounds of the official Caterham Motorsport season. Some of the drivers had been at Silverstone for the Team Enduro a few weeks earlier. However, for others it was the first opportunity to brush off the competitive cobwebs and the first time all the rest of this year's competitors would be on track together. With 13 team-supported cars, the garage was a buzz of activity from Friday official testing onwards. Testing went largely to plan, with the exception of Alex Jordan, who sustained accident damage and required overnight repairs. However, when the qualification started, Alex was back out on track with his fellow racers. Ahead of qualification, we caught up with 270R driver Nilesh Palmer to get a feel for how his testing went and also his plans and expectations for the 2019 season.
So Nilesh, we're at Silverstone National, just completed some testing, first round of the championship season. You're back for more. How's testing gone?
Testing's gone really good today, actually. I think I had some really good laps, some nice consistent speed. Learning more and more of the track. I've not raced on this circuit configuration before, but overall it's been a really good day.
Conditions been mixable this morning, so you've had a bit of everything ready for the race weekend. I think we're going dry, but you've experienced the wind today, and I know that affects the car quite a lot.
Yeah, we had a real problem with the wind down the back straight today. You need a good toe. If you don't have a toe, you really struggle. It was greasy in the morning, then it was a bit greasier, then it dried up, so really variable weather conditions, but it seems to be settled down and a bit consistent now, so hopefully no rain tomorrow.
So next session, qualifying tomorrow morning. It all happens very quick, doesn't it? So what are your expectations? Have you got any?
I think qualifying for me has never been that lucky. I think you do need a bit of luck. It's where you end up on the grid and it's the cars around you, etc. Because there's so much traffic, everybody's bustling for a space. Here you just need to line up a good toe. If you get a good mega toe, then you could qualify really well. My aim would be to qualify in the top 10. Obviously we've got 5 champion winners in the actual race program in my series, so it's a competitive field out there. It's not going to be easy.
Okay, and as a season as a whole, I know you're not doing a full season this year, but you are doing, is it 3 rounds?
3 rounds with Caterham and then two rounds with the Classic Sports Car Club.
All right, well let's catch up with you after qualifying and see how it's gone.
Thank you.
With only 4 corners to contend with, Silverstone National is a fast and wide track with plenty of long straights. Here's Dave Robinson, one of DPR Motorsport driver coaches, talking us around a lap of the track.
So we're riding on board here with Gordon Sawyer for a lap of the National Circuit at Silverstone. Just coming on the run to the start-finish. Getting a good little bit of slipstream from a 420R as we start the lap, so it's bound to be a good one. No pressure, Gordon. Braking hard for the first bend, just holding the brake pressure to get the car really into the apex and making the most of the curve that's there. Full use of track on the exit. Got to be careful of that on race day, plenty of markers watching that for track limits. And then we're into the Beckett's complex really here. Braking hard again, mid-track before teasing the car in, really trying to get high on that curb before powering onto the Wellington straight. Using full width of the track on exit and then power on down the back straight. Not much to do or talk about on the back straight at this point, so just admiring the views. And then we're onto the brakes into Brooklands, braking hard just before the marker board and teasing the car in, leaving a car's width for the first bit of the curve and just using the most of the circuit that's available there. Tight into the left field right, letting the car run wide and coming in close again on exit. Full power all the way back to the start finish. And we're nearly there for a lap of Silverstone National and really well driven lap from Gordon that will give him a 105.5. Let's see if we can do the same again for qualifying tomorrow.
So Gordon, we've just finished testing for today, 1 day testing today rather than the normal 2 that we're used to. But we're coming into the 2019 season. You're back for more. How's testing gone first?
I could do with another day.
No, but you're not going to get it though, so how have you come out of the day?
Not too bad, improved during the day. My last stint was pretty good, but yeah, another day would have been nice.
So next session is qualifying. Obviously it comes pretty quick now, so have you got expectations? Obviously you're looking for a championship charge this year, so are we going for pole?
Always going for pole. Last year I always started on the front row of the grid, so it's a lot. So I'm putting myself under a lot of pressure for tomorrow.
And as far as the season goes, you are doing the full championship this year?
I am indeed.
And going for the win?
Hopefully.
Gordon, we will catch up with you after quali, see how it's all gone. Thanks for sharing my sofa.
No problem. Cheers.
New for 2019 in the 420R Championship is the Super Pole qualifying format. We asked frontrunner Will Smith to talk us through what this involves.
Okay, Will, we're back for a third season of 420s. Got a new thing, and they're throwing a new thing at us this year, which is Super Pole. So do you want to talk us through what that is?
Sure. So basically, normal qualification as we've always known it over the last few seasons. For the first part, the top 10 then go through to the qualification shootout. They go in reverse order. We're not sure on the intervals yet between the cars, but you get an out lap, one timed lap, and then in the pits. So adds another dimension and a bit more pressure to the qualifying.
So I'm guessing the idea is that there's not going to be a tow then, so you've got to go and actually do a lap. So is that going to work to your advantage, you think?
Well, not getting a tow was always a good excuse if you had a bad lap, so that one's out the window. But I think it's more fair for everybody, just make sure we get through to that last part, which is easier said than done.
All right, well, I wish you best of luck, and we'll talk to you after and see how it's all gone.
Thanks, Chris.
The new format gave qualification session extra interest and seemed to be well received by the drivers and spectators alike. Alex Jordan and Chris Bates didn't make cut-off to complete the Super Pole this time out and started the race one from 17th and 13th respectively. However, Will Smith and Aaron Head did make it through to the top 10 shootout and would start from 4th and 3rd. In race 1, Chris Bates had a spin on the first lap and, stuck in empty space on track, made the call to pull into the pits and save his tyres for race 2. Alex Jordan circulated through the majority of the race but also pulled into the pits before the flag. Both would have work to do the following day, starting from the back of the grid. Will and Aaron were firmly planted at the front of the 10-car battle through the whole of race 1. Aaron managed to cross the line in 3rd, whilst Will was disappointed to take 4th, just outside the podium. In race 2, Alex and Chris were part of a race-long battle behind the lead group, places changing on every corner, and by the time the 30 minutes was up, Alex claimed 20th place and Chris ended in 18th. Will and Aaron were once again planted firmly in the lead battle, this time consisting of 11 cars. The podium remained elusive for Will, however, as he got squeezed onto the grass at a crucial time. 8th was another result that on another day would have been better rewarded, and Aaron this time finished 5th. The 270R drivers put on some frankly spectacular racing over the weekend. The Silverstone circuit's long straights compressed the field into a lead group of 22 cars for lap after lap. Dan Halstead was pushing for the lead consistently through the first half of the race 1, however he slid wide through the gravel and that put paid to his podium chances. He ended the race in 14th. Nilesh Palmer moved forward to the lead group but didn't manage to hold on until the end of the race, and his race ended in 10th. Chris Moore crossed the line in 9th but was subsequently removed from the results following a yellow flag infringement. That left James Murphy to pick up a podium for himself and the team, finishing in 3rd place and firmly in contention from the win throughout. Race 2 saw some frantic action for lap after lap. Unfortunately, James Murphy was tapped into a spin about mid-race distance and dropped back to 27th. With Chris Moore starting from the back of the grid as well, both had their work cut out. Nilesh Palmer made some excellent progress through the race and patiently moved forward place by place. He led over the line at least twice through the race and was slightly unlucky to end the race back in 7th place. Dan Halstead continued his progress through the field from the race 1 spin and planted himself back in the lead group. After a last lap incident through Brooklands involving a number of the front runners' drivers, Dan crossed the line in 2nd place.
I've never led a race before. That was really exciting. Oh no!
Meanwhile, on their fightbacks, Chris Moore made it to the lead group, but a late issue in the race dropped him back to 17th place. However, given that 17th place was only 5 seconds behind the leader, you can see how tightly bunched the whole of the front field were. James Murphy made a spectacular recovery all the way to 6th place, just 1.3 seconds from 1st. This could prove a very important recovery drive by the end of this season. The 310R drivers had a pretty hard act to follow from the 270s, but with a quality grid of proven talent, they were up to the task. Andy Perry led the DPR charge in qualifying, taking 2nd place. Gordon Sawyer took a spectacular 6th place, even though his qualification session ended up in the barrier after scary contact with another driver lifting off on the straight. Doug Christie took 16th and Harry Landy 18th, and Gary Curtis was 31st. The 39-strong field of cars then took to the racing and continued a now familiar pattern of racing in one big group. Andy Perry just drifted from the front of the field at the 3/4 distant mark, but still retained a well-deserved 5th place. Harry Landy surprised a few people by ignoring his relative lack of catering experience and made his way to the front group and competed well. He'd eventually dropped back to 14th at the flag, but it was a very promising start to his 2019. Doug Christie ended the day in 21st, and Gary Curtis had a race-long battle with a group of cars, crossing the line in 31st. But it was Gordon Sawyer who managed the race best of all, crossing the line and picking up a well-deserved victory. Race 2 picked up just where Race 1 finished, the front group again going at it, swapping places at every opportunity. Anybody in the lead group could have won the race, but somehow, through it all, Gordon once again stole the march on his opposition and clinched the double. After a qualifying session that ended in the wall, some great work by the DPR mechanics to get the car race ready was again rewarded. Andy Perry was slightly disappointed to only pick up 8th place from race 2, Doug Christie improved in race 1 with 18th place, and Gary moved forward as well to 27th. Which way do you want to go? Next up on the calendar is Croft on the 4th and 5th of May, and the whole of DPR Motorsport look forward to seeing you there.